first album is totally different from the last one. Can you tell me something about it? Evolution you made?
One reason I had different management.
Yeah.
I listened to the management a great deal. They would tell me how to write the songs and how to play them, how to sing them. They're not my producers, but they tell me certain things like this kind of album would be nice, or needed, or whatever. And the new management doesn't do that, but the old management did. I'll say it's important for you to establish a Black American base and things like that, and regardless of what I wanted to do or whatever. Another reason is I think I matured a great deal in the way I approached my work and stuff. I think in the beginning I was a little different. My lifestyle was a little different. I wasn't allowed as much freedom as I am. I tried to do anything I wanted to back then, but it was met with more rebuttal than anything. And now it's a lot different. This new album, I was allowed to do anything I wanted. And what happened was that it started out as demo tapes. And the record deal, I had no idea it was going to be on an album. And I just wrote songs and recorded songs that meant more to me than other things I've written. They were more of an extension. And I ended up with that.
You're from Minneapolis. Is there heavily music scene there? No.
No, nothing. Nothing really, no. They make an attempt. And, I guess the last guy told me there wasn't much of a music scene here. Just, not a local music scene. Well, I think it's a little bit more than here, but it's not. It's not really important.
Can you introduce your band members? Bobby C?
Yeah, he plays drums.
Yeah.
He was a friend of mine. I didn't even know he could play drums. He was an errand boy. He worked for my manager, my first manager. And I thought sooner or later I ought to get a band. And Bobby and I were hanging out talking, and whenever he would help me do things in the studio, room and stuff. And he told me he could play drums, so I said, okay, I listened to him, and he ended up getting a job. Des, he's a guitar player. He, I actually don't know where he came from. There's a lot of rumors going on where he came from. He looks very strange. To most people, I'm used to it, but just to describe him, he's very strange. And I don't know exactly where he came from. He just popped up at a rehearsal studio one day and asked if he could play guitar. He's been there ever since. And Matt, he plays keyboards. I think I know a lot about them, and I know little. I know little about their background, but I know a lot about their personality. I'll tell you how that got with me, though. Bobby told me about this guy who wanted to play music, but his father didn't want him to. And he was going through some real traumatic experiences behind it, and maybe he was a great player, but maybe he wouldn't be so good in the band because of this or whatever. He's real schizophrenic. He can be, you know, nuts sometimes, you know. And it's stupid because he said, when I talked to his father a little later, and his father said that he wanted Matt to be a doctor. And I guess it's sort of a compromise. Matt wears that suit on stage, but he plays rock and roll, so I don't know. Lisa, I met through a friend in Los Angeles when I lost my first keyboard player. And Andrea I've known since birth, I think.
Keyboard player, you also co-wrote the song Dirty Mind. On your albums you play all the instruments yourself and not using the band. Why?
One reason is a very small reason, but one reason is because I recorded very strange albums. Another reason is it's hard for me to play with people who don't know exactly where the song comes from. And it's hard to explain an overall idea to 5 people. It's easier for me to do it and play a tape of the song to make it the whole picture. And it's real cohesive.
Are you satisfied with the sound the band is
very much so. It's far more aggressive because one reason we play this stuff a great deal. Another reason is and they know it real well. Another reason is that I think they're older than I am. And live in the studio is 2 different things, but I am satisfied with what they do.
The last album sells pretty good in America, even without airplay. Can you explain that?
I think a lot of people getting hit through press or whatever, and once they see us play, there is always an increase in sales. I think people sort of wrote it off as some kind of publicity stunt or joke at first, and once they see us play, they realize that we're like we are, and it might be our fault, but that's too bad, and if they can get to it, cool. If not, or listen to something else.
Yeah, sure. On every album you made, you thank God first, and you thank a lot of people. You believe in God?
Yes.
And you also write very controversial lyrics. On the first album, is there any song directly written for God?
No. For the next album, there will be Sinning Salvation. That's basically where I live. Torn between 2 lovers. Maybe.
But do you believe in God?
I'll explain myself a little better. I do it better in music than I do talking. I'm sure I will. On one stage or another in my life, I find my purpose in the things I do.
You don't want to do interviews. You're not really fond of it.
No, not really. And the reason for it is that I'm stronger behind a microphone, unless it's a radio microphone. And I'm stronger with a guitar in my hand. And I write better letters than I do when I make telephone calls.
It has nothing to do with being 2 persons, I think.
No. I don't think so. I think it's
Next album. Working on it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm waiting. I have to say, after visiting London and being here for a day, a lot of things are running around in my head. No titles of songs and no ideas of what they'll sound like. But just feeling, it's a real interesting city, this one. It's real free, and people believe in themselves. And London's real poor, which makes you wonder about society as a whole in other parts of the world.
Your last album, there are some European influences on it, musically. You agree with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I could be in touch with Europe, or I wouldn't say.
But as you told me about London, which the music scene there in London was very musically aggressive, but punk influences, etc., etc. And on the album cover, you wear a button, Rude Boy.
That was a present from my manager, Jamie, who thought it appropriate because of the way I am. But to this day, I ask people and they can't tell me what it means. It came from somewhere, but I get different things from everybody. So.
Yeah, but it is not a special meaning.
No.
It's not. Okay.
Well, I bet she thinks I'm rude, but that's what I'm sure she meant it.
Do you consider yourself rude?
No.
How do you write your songs? I mean, how do you come up with the ideas, the lyrics?
From true life experiences. If something occurs. I used to write like that. That's one of the main differences in the album. Because I used to write from visions and fantasies and the way I thought perfect love should be and things like that. And I don't do that so much anymore. I'll say what it is, I think.
Yeah. I think you're a great producer when I listen to the album. Are you going to produce other people?
I don't think so. Not for a while. I don't know. I think I'll be into something else before I start producing other people. I think I'll not be doing music anymore.
No?
Yeah, I know I'm not going to do it too much longer.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Just something different. I'm very into what I'm doing now. And I think it's a good medium to express myself in, but I think in time I'll grow tired of it.
It's a kind of a shock to me. Yeah. But there will be a fourth album.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Like I said, I do have some ideas, and I'm sure once I get back from London, and once I spend another night here and go to Paris, I'll be dying to write it. And see, I don't write that much.
Maybe that's one of the reasons that the last album, there isn't much, well, there are a lot of songs on it, but the time, recording time is very, very, very little. Right?
Well, I
B-side or not?
yeah, I think so.
12, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. I didn't write a lot of songs during that time period. I never record in excess. I never record more songs that you can put on the next album, because I've never worked. So I'm in a totally different state by the time the next record comes out, and they never fit. So.
You told me you recorded Strange Hours, middle of the night.
Yeah. 3 or 4. Yeah.
Is that because you get an impulse to do it?
I think I'm afraid of sunlight sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't stay up very much during the day and sleep. And I record it. If I do it, if I'm working on the record.
You're not someone who plans an album.
No.
I think it is wrong. A lot of people, now you're talking to me, compare this album to New Wave. A lot of people say it's a special blend between black music and New Wave music. You agree with that?
No. First of all, I don't know if I'm black or not. Second of all, I live in a place that gets no New Wave music at all. All we have is country and western. I think they're more country and western influences than the songs of the guitar and stuff like that. New Wave's harder, and well, I don't know. It's just harder. I hope.
What kind of audience do you attract in America when you perform?
Well, a lot of different types. It depends on where we are and what support act we have.
Yeah.
If we're down south, we get primarily black, because black and white don't mix down south. You either get a white audience or you get a black audience, and if you're walking the line, you'll get more brave, I guess. So, in New York, it's like a lot of black, a lot of white, a lot of male and female, and straight and gay, and conservative and non-conservative. It's real diverse.
What do you like best? Performing, writing, being in the studio? I like whatever I'm doing at that particular time. If it's time to record, or if I feel like I want to, then I'm really into that, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. And like right now, I would not want to be recording. I want to play right now, so that's now to play what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like a cycle. It's like when it's time to go to sleep, then I want to go to sleep. Do you think that a lot of people they live? You don't have a watch?
No.
So you're not living on it?
No. I don't care what time it is.
Like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
They plan everything, eating at 12 o'clock, sleeping at 8, at 10 o'clock, getting up at 7.
No, I'm not a planner. I go by a lot of impulses.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago I spoke to someone who also thinks of it the same way you do. Stevie Wonder was here too. He doesn't make plans to. The first album was Stevie Wonder influenced. Is that wrong to say that?
I don't personally listen to popular music. I had to play too much of it when I was a teenager. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. No. I had to play his music and anybody else's who had a hit, and it turned me off to listening to him, because I had to analyze their music, because I had to teach the keyboard player her part and get all the vocal structures out of it, and I had to pick everything apart, and it made me know exactly what the artist was going to do next. And so whenever we had to learn, if we got another hit, and we had to learn another one of his songs, then
we knew just exactly what to do, where it was going to go, and it became very boring after a while. And whenever I did listen to music, it was only because I was making it. So I didn't play a lot of records. Because I had to play them anyway. I had to learn them.
Yeah.
It was just sickening. It's sickening to play an original song and have people go out and grab popcorn and then come back in when we get through soloing.
Yeah. You play a lot of instruments. What kind
Sometimes.
of? Yeah. Well, on the album.
Yeah.
For sure.
On the first one I did. The second one, I played not as many. On the third one there was virtually not half as many.
Not half as many. What instrument do you like best?
It's hard to say. Because instruments are really depends on the mood. Like I won't touch the drums if I'm happy, because I can only play the drums when I'm angry or I feel aggressive or strong. Some days you feel stronger than you do other days. Like if I'm tired, I won't touch the drums and stuff like that. And if I'm excited, I won't play the piano. I like playing the piano when I'm lonely and stuff like that. And the guitar, no, I think it's the guitar. I think I like guitar best because I can be angry and sensitive on that. That's probably why I play it on stage.
I think I have enough.
Okay.
I won't tire you anymore. Questions?
What?
What?
Are you sure you have everything?
Sure.
Okay.
There's maybe one thing I want to know. But I guess that's a long story. So
That's all right.
where you've been brought up.
Mm.
Something of your past.
Okay, I started playing when I was 7.
Yeah.
And that was piano. That was after my father left. And, did you read any of the biography or whatever?
He didn't give me the guy.
Okay, his name is, his stage name is Prince Rogers. That's where I got the name Prince. So there's my real name. It's not a publicity gimmick. I hated it when I was coming up, but Mom used to, I guess it sort of fits what I'm doing. It's better than Leroy. I ran away when I was 12 after my mother remarried. And that's why I learned to play guitar, because I couldn't carry my piano away. And I learned to play drums shortly thereafter, and once you learn those three, everything else is relatively easy. And I went to New York when I was 17, after I got out of high school, and I was sick of playing other people's music. I went to New York to get a record deal, and I lived with my sister Sharon, who was real dear to me during that time. She was going to be my manager. And a couple people wanted to produce albums on me, but they wanted me to just be a singer, and I didn't want to do that. So I came back to Minnesota and hooked up with some other people who let me make another demo tape on my own. And we took it around to A&M Columbia and Warner. And they bid it on it, and we went with Warner Brothers. And that came out.
Yeah. Great. So, is that the sister you mentioned on the song on the album? Great. Yeah, maybe one question. What kind of show are you bringing tonight? What kind of material are you playing?
Let's see. I think there's one. I know there's one new song. The rest of it is stuff that
last two albums.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's real aggressive and it's real bold. I'm using words that have been to describe it. If I was to describe it, I would say it's real us. And we tend to get into what we're doing, and sometimes we become oblivious to our surroundings, but we're looking for an exciting time.
Yeah.
And here they're more acceptable to things that are not so acceptable.
Okay, I have enough. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.